Shopify fees are one of the first things that start swirling in your head once you sit down and start thinking seriously about launching your online store. And I get it. Starting on Shopify can feel overwhelming if you don't have direction. There are so many plans, so many features, and it can feel like every single thing has a price tag attached to it. But here's the thing, stick with me until the end, because we're going to break down exactly what Shopify fees actually cost you, where people get tripped up, and whether it's really as expensive as some people make it sound. And trust me, you might be surprised once you see how all of this actually works out because there's one part nobody really tells you that makes Shopify a lot more affordable than you probably think. All right, so let's start with the most basic part of Shopify fees, the subscription cost. This is the one that everybody sees first. As of right now in 2025, Shopify gives you a free 3-day trial to get started. After that trial, you get a pretty incredible deal where you only pay $1 per month for the first 3 months. Yes, just $1 per month, and that includes full access to Shopify's features while you build and launch your store. I'm going to be real with you. That part alone makes Shopify one of the most affordable platforms to test out, especially if you're someone who wants to build but doesn't want to commit to huge upfront costs while you're still figuring things out. And by the way, if you want to take advantage of that trial, I've got the link right below this video in the description where you can activate the free trial and lock in that deal. Now, after those first few months, Shopify fees start to shift depending on which plan you pick. Most people are going to land on either the basic plan or the Shopify plan. The basic plan is currently $32 a month, while the Shopify plan bumps up to $100 a month. Yes, there's also the advanced plan, but for the majority of new stores, you won't need that unless you're scaling big. And this is where a lot of people start to feel a little nervous. They see the $39 or the $105 and start thinking, man, this adds up fast. But hang on, because this is where most people actually misunderstand how Shopify fees fit into your business. The truth is, Shopify fees are part of your cost of doing business. And when you actually start getting orders, making sales, and bringing in customers, that monthly fee ends up being a very small percentage of your overall revenue. For example, if you're doing $1,000 a month in sales, your $39 fee is just 3.9% of your revenue. But as you scale, that percentage keeps shrinking. If you hit $5,000 a month in sales, that $39 fee is less than 1% of your total revenue. That's why most people who are really building stores don't even blink at these Shopify fees. Because once the sales start coming in, that monthly fee is almost irrelevant compared to what you're earning. Now, where Shopify fees start to get a little more complicated, and this is where people get confused, is with the transaction fees and payment processing fees. Anytime you take a payment through Shopify Payments, which is Shopify's built-in system, you pay a small percentage of each sale. Right now, for the basic plan, Shopify fees for payment processing are 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. If you move up to the Shopify plan, it drops slightly to 2.6% plus 30 cents. And yes, that might feel high at first glance. A lot of people start comparing these to Shopify fees to other platforms and wonder if they're getting ripped off. But here's the reality. Pretty much every e-commerce platform out there charges something similar. Whether you're using Stripe, PayPal, or any major processor, you're going to pay around 2.9% per sale anyway. Shopify just makes it simple by bundling it all together. And here's where Shopify actually saves you headaches, because it handles fraud protection, chargebacks, and integration all under one roof. So while yes, the Shopify fees exist, you're paying for the convenience of having your entire store fully synced, fully protected, and fully supported. But what if you don't want to use Shopify payments and you want to bring in a third-party payment processor? Well, here's where Shopify fees can sting a little bit. If you don't use Shopify payments, they tack on an extra transaction fee of 1% for basic and 0.5% for Shopify plan users. That's on top of whatever your third-party processor charges you. So in most cases, it just makes sense to stick with Shopify payments unless you have a very specific reason not to. There's also another part of Shopify fees that sometimes catches people off guard: apps. The Shopify App Store is absolutely packed with tools, plugins, and add-ons that can supercharge your store. But many of these apps have monthly fees attached. Some are free, some are just a few dollars a month. but others can run you $20, $50, or even 100 plus a month depending on what features you want. This is where Shopify fees can start to add up without you realizing it if you start stacking on too many apps. But at the same time, these apps can also help you generate more sales, automate processes, and create a better customer experience. So while it's technically an extra fee, many apps end up paying for themselves if you're using them smartly. One thing I always tell people though, don't overload your store with apps just because they sound cool. Start lean. Get your store running, start making sales, and then add apps one at a time as you see real needs pop up. This way, your Shopify fees stay under control while your revenue grows. Now let's talk about Shopify fees when it comes to domains and email. Shopify doesn't include a free domain like some platforms do, so you'll need to either buy your domain directly through Shopify or transfer in one you already own. If you buy through Shopify, it's around $14 per year for most standard domains, which honestly is pretty competitive. For email hosting, Shopify now partners with Google Workspace and Zoho Mail, which gives you pro email accounts starting around $6 a month depending on your provider. So again, it's an extra Shopify fee, but it's standard for any serious business that wants a branded email. Shipping is another area where Shopify fees might hit you depending on how you set up your store. The good news is Shopify gives you discounted shipping rates through partners like USPS, UPS, and DHL. But, of course, if you're fulfilling your own orders, you still have to pay for packaging, shipping labels, and any handling costs. These aren't technically Shopify fees, but they're still part of your operating costs that you'll want to plan for. And yes, let's keep it real, Shopify isn't perfect. The truth is, when you add up the monthly plan, transaction fees, app costs, domain, email, and shipping, Shopify fees can feel like death by 1,000 cuts if you're not careful. That's where some people get frustrated and say things like, Shopify nickel and dimes you. But here's the part most people forget. You're building a real business. Every serious business has costs. And what Shopify does better than almost any other platform is give you an all-in-one system that removes the technical headaches so you can focus on selling. Plus, the fact that Shopify gives you that 3-day free trial plus 3 months at just $1 a month is honestly one of the best offers available right now. And yes, you might have heard about people getting 90-day or 120-day free trials in the past. Those were special promotions Shopify ran during certain periods, but as of 2025, they're no longer publicly available. Right now, the standard offer is 3 days free, and then $1 for 3 full months. And you can activate that trial by clicking the link in the description below this video. Here's the bigger picture, though. Shopify works. Tens of thousands of people have built full-time businesses using Shopify, many starting from absolutely nothing. If you're someone who's been dreaming of launching your own store, selling your own products, and building real income online, Shopify makes it possible without needing to be a tech wizard. You're not paying Shopify fees for nothing. You're paying for a system that works, that scales, and that's proven. And if you stick with it, if you actually build your store, promote it, and stay consistent, those Shopify fees start to feel small compared to what you're bringing in. At the end of the day, Shopify fees are simply part of the cost of stepping into e-commerce the right way. You could spend months trying to cobble together cheap alternatives, fighting with plugins, struggling with integrations, or you can invest into a system that's trusted by millions, fully supported, constantly updated, and built to help you succeed. And when you actually start seeing those orders roll in, the Shopify fees aren't going to be what you're thinking about. You'll be thinking about how to scale, how to market, and how to grow your store to the next level. So if you're ready to finally take action, there's a free trial link right below this video. You can get started today, get full access for three days completely free, and then continue for just $1 per month for your first 3 months while you build your store and get it off the ground. It's honestly one of the best opportunities to finally start moving forward with your online business. Don't overthink the Shopify fees. Focus on building and let the results speak for themselves.